but we're about to, well, when I say about to, maybe in a couple of hours, we will be passing underneath a very large suspension bridge. It will be dark when we go under, but it's very well lit up with blue neons and all of the navigation lights that you'd expect. Just going to grab this before we lose the light. The sun has gone down there behind us in the west. We are, of course, therefore heading east. You can't see it with the camera, or any one of the cameras we've got on board, but we're about to, well, when I say about to, maybe in a couple of hours, we will be passing underneath a very large suspension bridge. It will be dark when we go under, but it's very well lit up with blue neons and all of the navigation lights that you'd expect. So there is a traffic separation scheme as you go either way, east or west, under the bridge. We will be on the south side of the bridge because we're heading east. And we have to radio ahead and get permission to go through and tell them how tall we are and how long we are. And they'll tell us, yes, carry on through the south side, or no, there's a big fella coming through on the south side, you go through on the northern side. So then we're sailing through the night, or motoring through the night, because there's absolutely no wind now, and we should, by the time the sun comes up, find ourselves somewhere near to the northern entrance of the Corinth Canal. That'll be interesting.
Sailing vessel ABC, your traffic to evening entrance.
Sailing yacht ABC, 1 mile out from the South Channel.
Sailing vessel ABC, the South Channel is clear, sir.
Oh my god. That was like being on a roller coaster ride. I don't know, my stomach has just turned over. Oh my god. Woohoo! Woohoo! We cleared it!
Proceed and keep what will be at the channel 14 for 7 miles.
Copy. Channel 14, 7 miles after the bridge. Have a good evening. ABC out.
Guess where we are?
Corinth Canal Control, Corinth Canal Control, Corinth Canal Control. This is sailing yacht ABC, ABC, ABC. Over.
ABC, Corinth Canal, good morning.
Good morning, sir. We are on the western side and we want to travel east.
Your length overall, ABC?
14 meters.
For the canal use, do you pay cash or any agent?
It will be cash in euros.
And your distance from canal entrance?
Right now we are 3 miles from the entrance.
Okay, ABC, proceed, and half mile before the canal entrance, call me back for instructions.
Thank you, Control. We'll be in touch half a mile before the entrance. ABC out. We're at the Corinth Canal entrance and it's 7:55 in the morning. There are several vessels waiting to go through, including ourselves. So we're just half a mile from the entrance waiting for some vessels coming out of the canal to clear the way, and then once that's done we'll be given our orders as to which order we go through in. So we don't know. There's a big tug over there towing something. There's a couple of yachts here, and there's a big vessel over there, but I don't know if he's going through. The most expensive canal to traverse in the world per kilometre or foot or mile. It's really quite a short canal, but very expensive. And we won't know exactly how much it's going to cost us until we get to the other end. That's where we tie up and pay. So if we don't like what they're charging us, we can't just reverse out and come back. So we'll just sit here and wait until we're told what to do.
It's a bit exciting. We're just about to enter the Corinth Canal now. So check it out. I hadn't realised how narrow this canal actually is, and the walls have just been sliced through. They're not reinforced with concrete or anything. We're coming up to a reinforced bit now, a very low wall on either side. This side is actually reinforced pretty much halfway up the wall. It's quite a high section, this part.
Take that to mid. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we just had a very interesting but uneventful trip through the Corinth Canal. Uneventful in the fact that it is literally just a straight line cut through the rock. The biggest concern for me was the depth of the water, and I think the worst we got on our depth gauge was 6-7 meters. So ahead of us was a really big cargo ship that was getting towed through by a tug, and I just figured, well, if that big fella can get through, then we've got no problem with our 1.8 meter keel. And as we come through the canal, we came from north to south, or as some people like to say, from west to east. It just depends on how geographically perfect you want to be. But either way, when we exited the canal, we had to pull over to the starboard side. There was a big dock there to pull over and tie up and go into the office and pay. For our 14-meter vessel, it cost us €249, and I did say it was the most expensive canal to traverse for the cost and the distance involved. It really didn't take that long to get through it. It's quite a short canal and very easy, really. You just got to radio in and follow the instructions. We are now in the Aegean, and things are a bit different here. It was raining as we exited. It isn't now, obviously, as you can see. So yeah, it's turned out nice. And our chosen destination for tonight's stopover is Poros, which is another nice Greek island apparently. We will need to refuel there. Apparently the fuel tank comes to where you're parked up along the quayside and you fill up that way. And the same, I would imagine, with water. I'll be glad to get there. It's been, it's not been tiring. It's just when you do an overnighter, you do feel a bit ropey the next day. it would be nice to stop. I think we're about 2 hours away from stopping, so that'll be good.
As we approached Poros, Elaine gave Baz some really good advice on dropping the anchor for stern to mooring. However, in practice it was more tricky, and it took Baz a few attempts before we were securely tied to the dock with Mike and Elaine's help.
This is where, when you let the chain out, keep letting it out, but now and again just stop, and if the chain rises like that, you know it's in, and then you keep letting it out before it goes tight. People keep letting the chain out, then find out when they've got tied back, but it's not, and they're pulling it up, but the chain's like this, it's not like that. And it's just taking your time and not panicking, and if it's weather's like this, it's not too bad, you can think.
Okay, it's going to go reverse. I'll give you a shout. Okay, go. Tighten the chain. In. It's not so quick. It's not getting enough time to go down. How many metres is underneath you? 11. 11. You need to get that down 11 metres before it gets up to the bottom. Okay.
After putting the boat to bed, we kicked back, had sundowners, and sat on the back of the boat watching the evening ferry in Poros. I've just been up on deck to see what I can do to help prepare to cast off and go on the next leg of our journey. And Baz, the captain, has very clearly told me that he wants me to rest my arm. And I feel really useless. I just hate letting him down because he's already doing so much. It's not about me wanting to feel heroic or anything like that. It's just that we're a part of a team, and I'm like this useless part at the moment, and all I can do is the basic stuff. And I'm upset because I can't do anything practical to help. And I know while we're motoring it's not so bad, and even with the autopilot and all lines leading back to the helm, that it, you know, even sailing's not that hard, but it's just I can't even do the prep. I can't bring in any fenders. So I've just got to get on with it as well. Like, he's been awake since, you know, God knows how long, working out what he's got to do and in what order, and all I can do is just sit here with a bloody broken arm. Okay, there are some things I can do. I can film what we're doing, and I can talk to you. So today is Thursday the 4th of October, and we are now on passage, having just left the beautiful little island of Poros. We're on passage to Sephiros, and that will take us about 10 hours. At the moment the sun is still rising, the sea is very calm because there's little to no wind at all, So obviously we're going to be motoring to start with. Baz check windy, and we may get a little bit of wind later on this afternoon. So we'll see how that pans out. Windy hasn't always given us what it's promised. Or nature hasn't always given us what windy's promised.
This morning we left the Greek island of Poros and we're now motor sailing our way towards the Greek island of Seriphos. When we left it was really dead calm, dead flat. Now we have 13.6 knots of apparent wind. It has been up to 17 knots, so we do have the head sail out, which is nice because it gives us an extra knot. ABC is quite a fast little boat. She, as I've mentioned previously, she will do 8 knots at 1800 revs in dead flat conditions because of the nice gory folding prop we have. But even under sail, she will belt out a good tune. We haven't really had perfect wind and perfect sails to find out what her peak is, but I'm sure we'll get an opportunity somewhere along the line. Anyway, I digress. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, this is just another hop towards our final destination of Kaş in Turkey. It's spelled K-A-S, but pronounced Kaş. And the reasons we're going there I've mentioned previously, I think. Mike on that boat over there, who's helping some other people get to the same place, he's got a big toolbox and he's going to let me have access to that so we can complete a list of little niggly jobs that we want to just tweak on ABC. We've got to be there by at least the 12th of October because Mike's fiancée Elaine needs to be somewhere. It's now the 4th of October, so we do have plenty of time. It's not far to go, but we're just doing little hops after that big 24-hour hop. We are now just passing by the southern portion of the Greek island of Seriphos, and first impressions is it's very rocky and not very green. In fact, the only green thing I can see is in some of the rock coloration. It's quite amazing to think that people live here and farm here and survive here. It's very barren. But maybe this is just the southern portion. Maybe it's beautiful and green in the north. We haven't been there yet. What we are going to do is, around that headland there, we're going to take a left-hand turn, or we're going to turn to port for you nautical folks. And there's a big bay in there, and we're going to find the port town, and we're going to stay here for tonight. So that should be interesting. We need to fuel up again, and while we can, we'll top off the water tanks. Always like to keep the tanks as topped up as possible. You never know when, you know, somewhere you go might not have what you're looking for. At least it gives you some extra wriggle room to move on to somewhere else to get fuel or water. So we are now probably about an hour away from dropping anchor. Of course, when I say dropping anchor, I mean dropping anchor sort of more on the quayside, stern to, med mooring style. The more practice, the better you get, apparently.
Got stowaway.
Stowaway?
Yeah.
Hasn't played a fare.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
His little wings were nearly blowing off, so I've spent about an hour just actually sheltering him.
You do realise he's probably got a lifespan of about 3 hours.
I know, but you know, he's got a full 3-hour lifespan now.
Right.
And now that the wind's dropped, you know, he's all right. He can hold on.
I'm on a 46-foot boat with her.
ABC, mirror, over.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Barry, we've ended up alongside, so you can come alongside us, but we've had to use some of our fenders on the inside. So put some more of your fenders on the in between you and us, over.
Okay, so most of my fenders on my port side.
You're reversing, put your fenders on your port side, put 4 on the port side, 3 on the starboard side, and then come alongside us, over.
Next week on Sailing ABC, we have a good sail from Seriphos to Eos, and it gets a little hairy near the end with 30-knot winds and confused seas, but it all ends well. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notifications every time we release a brand new sailing video. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.